Good day. What's up? No, it's not because you're on Telegram. You know why the analysis is coming late. It's not that. But anyway, the Telegram link is in the caption, so join if you want. Last night, I was up until about 3:30 or 4. I was checking things out to see what the best decision we could make is. There are two scenarios. In my opinion, it's better to move forward with these two scenarios. I'll explain exactly what these scenarios are and what they do. There are a few things. First, right now they're moving these assets and such around. If something happens, I can't say it will directly benefit the market, but generally, global stability is good for risky markets. What about Pakistan and Afghanistan? Not really. They're not really two countries that are very important for the financial space. Not really. On the other hand, Trump also tweeted that he knows the president of China doesn't want a recession for his country, and he doesn't want one for his own country either, so we have to make tough decisions together. And everything is rosy, don't worry about it. Because of that, the market made a bit of a move. I don't know if it's going to last or not, but he's given us some attention with these tweets. Last time, it was the same thing. Let's move on to the charts. Tomorrow, and at 5 o'clock, I'll continue teaching you my strategy. So, make sure to set an alarm so you don't miss it, and try to watch it as soon as possible, because the sooner it reaches that number of views, the sooner I'll upload the next episode. Let's get to our chart. I'll erase these lines now, and we'll draw them together. Okay, if I go past these white lines, look at this. I want you to see this pitchfork that exists here, and what's its point? What's its point? We still haven't experienced a steep slope in the movement during this period. On the other hand, guys, let me bring up BTC and SC again. The movement cycles of our Bitcoin up until now. We have 3 years green, then 1 red, 3 years green, 1 red, 3 years green, 1 red. This volume decreased, don't pay attention to it. Exchanges increased so much it's not just on Bitsnap anymore. Much volume is in the decentralized space, same happening there. So, the way you're saying it, it means we basically have about 3 months left, based on what this is showing me. Roughly 3 months. At the start of the new year, what happened with these? Bitcoin rallied, altcoins took off. So, in the next 3 months, things will be decided. In reality, this year in the market, there hasn't been much. No, look, 65% is a lot. 365%, 247%. This one is 1,645%, 1,700%. And when I say, now you need to stay on top of things, these 3 months are when you have to be on it. For these 3 months, stay on top of things. After that, I'll announce a break. I have big signs. But these 3 months, these are not like any other 3 months. You have to stay on top of things. Okay, let me just clear this myself here. I need to clear it on these charts. 259. Wait, what is this chart? This is the training chart. The guys who have watched the tutorials know this is my training chart. The tutorial videos used to be recorded on this chart. Alright, let's say goodbye then. Let's take a basic look at the chart. Is our trend bullish? Yes, We're making higher highs and higher lows. So for now, on the weekly, our trend is bullish. So that's what we have. On the weekly, our trend is bullish. What about this week's candle? Guys, a single candle doesn't affect such a strong trend. One candle alone doesn't impact a strong trend. We need to break a certain range. We need to see a trend change. Something significant has to happen. We need to see a sign. Now, just because we had one big red candle, which, by the way, has already retraced and only about 8% of it remains, that's not a strong enough reason to say we've turned bearish. Here, the candle is even bigger, and it closed below an even more important resistance. This time, these two levels are different because people have more profits here, and sometimes when most people in the market are in profit, the market becomes risky. But now, most people aren't in profit anymore. Right now, a large number of people don't even have a position. Just like me, I have Bitcoin, but I don't have a position. There's a large volume like that. Getting liquidated means that not everyone is in profit anymore. No one is in profit anymore. Thank God. I didn't put my altcoins up as proof, so don't go after the top 10. Anyway, our weekly is still profitable, so for now, our weekly is in profit. It's an uptrend, then a long range, then a pullback, then another uptrend, then another long range. So, in our daily time frame, we're also ranging, moving within the box between 107,658 and the top at 120,154. Why did that candle go up? That move is fake. It tried to break your resistance but couldn't. It pulled back. If you go to a lower time frame, I can make it more precise, but until we see a reaction, I can't tell you if it's accurate. On the daily, we're ranging. We were bullish weekly, but daily we're moving sideways. From another perspective, in the high wave cycle, we're still bullish. In the medium wave cycle, we're also bullish. Right now, we're in the low wave cycle, which is ranging. So, every drop here, as long as our high wave cycle hasn't turned bearish, and when does our high wave cycle turn bearish? I'm telling you from a technical standpoint, if the price drops to 100,000, that's our best support. If 100,000 breaks and we make a lower high and this bottom breaks, that's when our high wave cycle turns bearish. The medium wave cycle will also turn bearish. If you don't know what high wave cycle or medium wave cycle means, just take my word for it for now. Big waves, small waves, medium waves. High wave cycle is the big wave, medium wave cycle is the medium wave, low wave cycle is the small wave. These all affect each other and are interconnected. If you don't fully understand, watch the tutorial video. For those of you who have seen it, write the name of the tutorial video in the comments, because honestly, I can't remember it right now. My mind isn't sharp, I haven't slept much. In the medium wave cycle, if our support at 80,000 breaks and we make a lower high, we turn bearish. So, what's the use of all this? When our high wave is bullish and our medium wave is also bullish, every drop in the low wave cycle becomes a buying opportunity. In what situation am I seeing this? I'm looking at it from the perspective that I've captured the entire wave, let's say 1,000 days, and what I'm telling you might take, I don't know, maybe 200 days, and then we might want to make a move. I just don't remember exactly where I left off, but in what context am I telling you this? When I've set the duration of my high wave cycle to 1,000 days, then, for example, my medium wave cycle's duration is the same as the high wave cycle. But if those events are going to happen, it might take 200 days, and the next move might start in another 200 days. So, in this context, I'm talking about the high wave cycle, medium wave cycle, and low wave cycle. What I'm saying only really matters for those long-term spot positions you've taken on Bitcoin. It doesn't apply to futures trades where you want to open a position in the next 10 minutes. On the other hand, what's the use for us? We need to have an overall view of the market. You can't not have one. Also, if we're aiming for a target, like expecting a bullish move in 2 or 3 months based on Bitcoin's yearly chart, then those events need to happen sooner. As a result, our low wave cycle becomes more important. In the scenario we're writing, we have a 3-month time frame, so right now, the high wave cycle and medium wave cycle aren't that important for us because time-wise, they don't fit. They won't have time to show themselves in a trend change or anything. I told you on the weekly chart we were bullish, and on the daily chart we were ranging. Let's go down to a lower time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, what's our condition? In the big picture, we're in a range. If you look at this area right now, let me mark this for you. On the 4-hour chart, if you look at this space, the 4-hour is in a bearish trend and currently pulling back. Now, the weekly is bullish, the daily is ranging, and the 4-hour is bearish. This tells us that the 4-hour is giving us an entry opportunity so we can move into the daily range toward the top of the box, and in the weekly bullish trend, continue to profit. The 4-hour chart gave an entry opportunity. Before we continue, I have no opinion about your bachelor pad, okay? I just want to say this. With a bachelor pad, you might stay 1 night, 2 nights, then you take your profit, close your position, lock the door, and leave quietly. Then you go home, and here you open your position again. I'm just saying it like this so it's easier to understand. Unfortunately, this way, it's easier for us to get it. It's time to open the right position, right? It's time to open the right position, okay? So, what's our scenario? Our scenario is this. We did something people could make a profit. We did something so people could come out ahead. Now everyone says Bitcoin and crypto are scams. We'll never have an alt season. This coin is trash. Poor thing. It dropped from $17,000 to $11,500. This one's trash too. And why should we be in the crypto market at all? So in a way, we made people lose hope. This is one option. We have a weekly bullish trend, and on the daily, it's ranging at 410. It's giving an entry opportunity. What happens in the first scenario? As long as we're above 107.351, which, if we drop below, will make our daily box bearish and break it to the downside, well, we say, okay, if you're looking for a bearish move, that's what would happen. But if we don't see a pattern and go against the trend, as long as we're above 107.351, we can look for long positions. We need to find some good entry points, hold onto them, and keep holding. Why is it important to hold? If a move is to happen, it's not now, just back and forth, nothing major. Maybe in 2 weeks we'll see action. This is the wave that needs to happen. It has to come and go. I mean this wave inside that daily box. You might get stopped out on the 4-hour chart, and this is the break of the daily box. That's it. The plan is, if it doesn't stay above 100, just let it go. These are the positions you open to see if the box breaks or not. If it doesn't break again, that's it for now. Say goodbye, unless it goes against the trend. This is the follow-up. How long am I to keep walking in the market with my sulking? Until support breaks, until you won't open a short position? I will, but only if it drops 6% lower. If 107 breaks, I'll open a short position. What about altcoins? So until then, you won't buy altcoins for spot trading? No, scenarios in futures. Okay, spot traders? Is that Azadi Vardesh in bad shape? Hey man, don't forget about us spot traders. Spot traders, we only do 2 or 3 analyses a year. I'll tell you either it's time to buy, or it's not, either it's time to sell, or it's not. We do nothing in between. If we trade futures, we tie up less capital and take on less risk. We put less money into the exchange, so if something happens, we lose less money. Right now, for spot, no, I'm not buying anything at the moment, nothing at all. I'll record the first analysis for Deadcoin and upload it today. If I see a spot trigger in Det, I'll talk about it there for you. And with the current situation, with the kind of volatility we have at the bottom, where money still isn't flowing into altcoins, even if you see a few green candles, the reason they appear should almost give you some profit. But with the kind of volatility we have, we're not going to go and take a spot position. My tongue slipped, man. If we miss a wave movement in spot and then try to catch it later, it's better, even for your own reason, so your money doesn't get stuck in a coin for, say, 300 days during a range phase, or you don't get stuck in a 20% loss. You could miss a 30% move, and then the coin just takes off in spot and goes up easily. For some of you, the question is, why should we even buy in spot? I've talked about this, it's just easier. Even for those trading futures, you can take your futures profits, buy that same coin in spot. It's easier to make decisions and manage things. It's better than having your futures position open. You're up 1200% and don't know whether to close it. But if you've bought the coin in spot, it's easier to manage your futures trades too. So, that's my scenario. You mentioned there are 2 scenarios. The other one happens when a sudden drop occurs. We talked about it. Regarding my long-term positions that are at a loss, we wait to see if this structure will continue. If it does continue, then we go ahead and open a short position until the trend changes again. As I said, there are medium wave cycles, wave cycle lows. Whatever happens at the wave cycle low, that's when we make our best and quickest decisions. Why? Because our daily time frame is ranging, our weekly is also bullish, and for a long time, their impact hasn't really shown up in our market. So, any trend change at the low of the wave cycle, like right here, where the trend is weak, this break, a simple base, just one stop here, these simple positions in the lower time frames can really help you out. For now, don't go chasing weird confirmations from higher time frames. We're not even looking at those right now. They're just adding noise for the higher time frames. What are you doing on the highest time frame, the 120-minute? Even 107 isn't doing anything. What are you doing on the 100-minute? Whenever you do something with these two, then I'll come and decide what we should do. On the higher time frame, we're in a zone for opening a position right at this 157 level, which is a breakout point. Now, you can look at it 2 ways. Look, the market is dropping this much, so it's logical that this one is also reacting. Now, if this one breaks 2, it'll be another correction, maybe down to 118. Even if I get up and throw my Fibonacci levels on, we can say, okay, here is also the 0.618 level. Right now, it's stuck at 38%. If it goes up a bit, it'll be a breakout. Right now, it's stuck at 38%, and if it goes to 0.618, which is around 119,000, that could also be correct. So why didn't you follow up on it? I said, did I lay out a scenario? I set an important level for myself because of the state of the world, because of the chart conditions, because of things that have happened in the past with Bitcoin and could happen again. I said, for now, in this box, I want to play out this scenario. But what if your scenario is wrong? At worst, I might take 2 stop losses and miss out on 1 profitable move and 1 downward move. That's the worst case scenario for me, and honestly, I'm okay with that because we haven't missed out on much profit from these kinds of moves around here. Whether it's on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dash, Cash, or any other coin in between, even if I miss out on 1 move, it's fine. That's why this is the plan. Now, if we get here and you see strong signs of a trend reversal, what would you do? When we get here, let's see again. Do we even reach this point? Should we get involved here or wait until we actually arrive and then talk about it? So, you don't have the scenario planned out from now? Actually, I do, but I don't want you to just follow my perspective. I want you to go and write the rest of the scenario yourself, like in a movie. What should we do here? If we get there again, should we set a stop loss like last time, or should we secure profits or not? Or maybe this time we should just hold on. Or, since the last 10 times I said to secure profits and didn't, if it gets here, should I secure profits this time? Is this even the right way to make decisions? In our market, or really in any financial market, punishing yourself now for decisions you made in the past doesn't make much sense. Remember that. If you wanted to punish that old version of yourself, you can't even reach that person anymore, so it has nothing to do with who you are now. Keep that in mind. It only makes it so you can't make the right decisions. That's what I'm saying. So, whether you want to take profit or not, I'm prepared for both scenarios. If I take profit, I'm ready. If I don't, I'm ready too. I make decisions based on signals. Now, based on that scenario, it makes sense here to open a long position with a risk of less than 1%. For example, right now on BNB, my position should have a stop loss, it's open, and it makes sense here. Just keep that in mind. On the other hand, our Bitcoin dominance has started to drop. Right now, you can confirm the drop in dominance and say, dominance, you've turned bearish and want to go see lower waves. So, our dominance is also bearish for us, okay? Yeah, here you can say that Bitcoin dominance is currently bearish because it even dropped below this 59 level, which it really shouldn't have confirmed above. 59.30 is a level that we shouldn't confirm above. It's enough for this level to just break, for 50 to 60 to break, and then it's confirmed. If the market is bullish, altcoins will perform really well, so it's better to keep an eye on them and see how far they can go, rather than trying to move along with the drop in dominance. For example, dominance could drop to 57, 57.5, and Bitcoin might just be reaching around 124, 125. Let me tell you something else. It's possible we might bounce back up from right here, making a higher low if we see increased volume. Here, we'll keep tracking that position because of the scenario we have. That scenario makes sense, and we're not losing anything with it. Nothing special will happen to us in this scenario. So, this scenario is good, especially in the total market cap space. Total has come up really well. This reaction is great. There's a resistance here from before that we broke, pulled back, and moved up from. Right now, we're dealing with this same resistance, my friend. If it dips down a bit, we're not tracking it at this exact moment, but if it starts moving up with increased volume, we'll follow it. If not, We'll wait and see if it wants to test this area again. What do we do? It's the same for total 3 and for my total as well. For USDT.D, let me clear this up. Let me see. I have a line here on USDT.D that I don't have on the other chart. Yeah, I'm talking about same line, the Hives line. Okay, don't pay attention to these lines. I'll erase them. I'm just putting them as the Hives line, thinking there's still something there. No, there's nothing there. It's not moving on that. I'm not even talking about the size of the weekly candle and all that. If you look at the monthly ones, they're all green. Why? Because it's really tethered. This is a published headline. Money has come in, its dominance percentage has increased. You can't ignore that this has happened in the tether space. Look, we have one 4.0 key level, one 3.7 and 9, and then this very level where we are right now. If we stretch it, it seems like it's pulling back to this level. Why doesn't it bring it here? This was our fake out. If it reacts from here, we'll say that's where it was supported, but this level is a fake level. Okay, it's come down to here. It could move a bit. If it wants to bounce from here, yes, it could continue the previous trend and go up. We have an important resistance around 4.93, meaning any lower high before 4.94 or 4.93 confirms the scenario. Here, we could, if it wanted to break this area, what would happen? The USDT itself doesn't give you a strong confirmation. You have to follow the altcoins and the rest. You have to keep an eye on them and open them up. Now, if this comes and hits a stop, what happens? Nothing. If it drops 20 or 50%, my total capital takes a loss. To put it better, half the arbitrage of that position we opened together is at this level here. At this level, half the arbitrage goes, it's easy. You always took the risk. Let's take a look at ETH as well. ETH's situation isn't bad, and BTC's isn't really bad either. We can say there's some attention on it. As for Ethereum itself, the plan is still the same. Don't open a position when the price is dropping. Oh, and 4,719, don't be without a position at that level. Now, there are some important levels around 4,220. Here, this is the entry point. This is the entry setup. Now, whether it wants to break out right now, you can set a stop buy with a stop loss here. Or if it wants to come down and start moving like this before breaking the top, you can open a position here. This 4,250 was the target. This is the scenario we're going with until something happens to prove otherwise. As for confirmation, I haven't checked Adresadio yet. Let me just take a quick look myself so we don't get too caught up in it. On Adresadio, we're also seeing a series of green candles forming, but for now, the main momentum might be picking up. So, this is actually a good spot to buy altcoins. Remember, I've said it 1,000 times. The biggest risk someone can take in the crypto market is to stay in a position for too long. Eventually, something happens in the market, just like this candle that just formed. I'm not following up for confirmation. Whenever I check, I'll let you know, no doubt. I'll tell you. Share these videos with anyone with Bitcoin or interested in Bitcoin analysis. If you've made it this far, subscribe and don't forget to like. If you have questions, ask them. I'm not summarizing because the whole analysis is important. I can't deliver the data I want in a summary. If you came for the summary, go watch the analysis. Skip the summary and watch the analysis. This analysis is important. This is one of those analyses I'll mention tomorrow. Watch this one. Thank you so much for paying attention and being with me.